What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. It's new bike day and surprise, we're at a Ducati dealer. Well, here we are. Does this look familiar to you guys? In case you are wondering where this beautiful Tuono 1100 factory is, it's at Two Wheels World in Pompano Beach, Florida. It is here for you to come and view it if you want, or if you're smart enough for the asking price of this bike, you're going to come and get it. But it's not the reason why we're here, but also there's something else that you might recognize. It's Omar right here. How you doing, Omar?
How are you doing, Manny?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. Omar is the face behind and the owner of Ducati Miami, but also today we are here at Ducati Pompano Beach, or Ducati Pompano?
Two Wheels World.
Two Wheels World. Okay, we're at Two Wheels. We're going to call it Ducati. No, we're going to call it Two Wheels World, where look at the world of two wheels that they have over here. And today it's another Ducati, guys. I already told you guys that, and some of you guys already know anyways. Let's go find the bike.
Okay. Go.
Look at this 916. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we just received it. Actually, it should be there, but just give me.
Here it is. It's all red here, just like we like it. It's we're doing something different, guys. Times are tough, so we're getting into pedaling. We're getting onto modifying bicycles, that is. And I'm kidding, that probably is worth more than what we're picking up.
Actually, this bike is going to Singapore.
Wow.
Okay, for a collector. And the only reason that it's not staying here is because I didn't know that it was for sale.
Ah.
So I would love to have something like that in here.
There you go. I guess you have good salespeople that they sell something before you even know that it's for sale.
That's exactly what happened in there.
And for those viewers who don't know what this is a Ducati Cucciolo, right? Cucciolo, is that how? Cucciolo. So Cucciolo means like a small puppy, I think in Italian.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it means small puppy in Italian. And after the World War and all that mess, and when all the factories got bombed, Ducati got into making engines to convert bicycles into motorized vehicles. And this is the kit that was put together. That's why I think it's probably worth more than this thing right here. This is actually what we're picking up. And it is the ever so loved, I'm going to call it, Panigale V2. The real reason behind why I chose the Panigale V2, and we already have a V4, and that was because, if you guys remember, we picked up the black previous generation Panigale V2 from Omar, Ducati Miami, and we got it because I was just curious. There's a lot of mods for it. We said, let's do a build, but when I rode the bike, I was pleasantly surprised, and I was kind of upset at myself that I didn't get one before, since it was such a great riding experience, especially on the road. And the reason why we're picking up this bike here is, again, of course, well, there's not a lot of products for it yet because it's a brand new motorcycle, but I just wanted to see, there is a lot of reviews on these bikes on the track. That's great reviews, we understand. Less power, less weight, a little less power, almost as fast as the previous bike, which means, a lot of fun on the track, because the less weight you have, the better it is on track. Forget about horsepower, especially for us people who are not professional riders. But I want to do what we do, street riding, and I want to see exactly what this lives up to. I'm pretty positive about it. I don't think having less horsepower is going to spoil the fun, because the last bike we picked up from you, the Hypermotard 698, is my favorite bike of all time.
This is the perfect balance.
Yeah.
120 horses, 30 pounds lighter than the previous generation with all the technology, and $2,000 less than the previous generation, or three.
I think that's also a big point for us, is that the Panigale V4 got a little more pricey, but the customer base for the Panigale V4, I think, will probably don't mind the price change, but also the bike got a lot of upgrades. We understand. This bike being at a price point it is, I think it makes it one of the bargains. Without riding it, I'm saying this, I'll come back to this also, but I think it's one of the bargains into this. You get into the Ducati brand, right? You don't have to get the S model like we did, which we usually don't get the S model, but to be honest, I don't want to wait for Öhlins to come out with the Öhlins stuff, because don't forget, Öhlins just got bought out by Brembo. Things are probably changing. Things may take a little longer than we like. So if you want to get a base model that's sitting there, which you'll see on camera, that is $16,000 and change plus your plus of your taxes and all that. But that bike at 16 grand, I think it's, without riding it, I could say that. And when we ride it, I guess I'll come up with the price, because that's the relevant things, right? And since there's no real road reviews, I want to do a review of it, from picking it up from here to taking it back. And I think it's got a lot to live up to, because we rode here with our Tuono 1100 factory. But I think even just seeing it, I sat on it. The handlebars are raised because it's now taking the place of also the Super Sport.
Exactly.
But if you want a sport bike, you just come to the dealership, you buy it with the sport package, I think it's called, that they change this and the clip-ons. It's from Ducati Performance themselves. And there you go, you have, I mean, of course you got to pay a little more, but even if you ride it like this, I don't think you're going to mind the fact that the bike is so much more comfortable than having clip-ons. We're going to put clip-ons, because forget about comfort. But yeah, I don't know, it's red, it's a Ducati.
And the exhaust, the new design of the exhaust, love it.
Yeah, I think so. I think it gives a little more for your money, right? On a Panigale V4, if you want to have dual tail mount exhaust, I think, what is it, 10,000?
Install approximately there.
Yeah, so just under 10 grand installed. And this bike you're getting, it's not an Akrapovic, but still it looks like that. It looks sporty.
No, the sound is great. I mean, I rode it and I love it.
But also, if you want to get the Termignoni, that's a dealer-only exhaust. That exhaust also is not as crazy price as the...
No, I think it's more in the $3,000 range.
Yeah, I was looking at the prices, so it might be something that we consider, guys, and you guys are going to see it. But also, I'm going to do a shameless plug for Omar right here. Obviously, we're here at Two Wheels World. I'm going to say it right this time. And I would urge you guys, so if you guys are in the area, the staff here is amazing. I actually walked in through the door and realized Santiago, which is the person who takes care of the parts department, I used to ride with him in 2018. He remembered exactly the bike I had. And this is the sense of community that we love with motorcycles. And also that's why we're here with Omar again, because I guess it's the only place that gives you a sense of community in the South Florida region in terms of a dealership. And
that's our mission.
Yeah, I mean, I think mission accomplished.
We're in the mission of having relations, not selling bikes. It's different. It's better to just have a relation and to bring people in because they want to be here, okay? Yeah. And to find the right bike for them. And we have several options in here. So I know you will enjoy it. I know that you will do something very nice with it, okay?
You're going to get to see it this time. You didn't see our other Panigale V2?
But I saw what you did on the videos, okay, and I love it.
Oh, thank you.
The wheels, the silver wheels on the black one.
I still regret it that it's gone, because I think it's also there's her mom behind the camera and Dom behind the camera, and also the other guys on Motomillion. I think it was a fan favorite. I think because also they're approachable. And they ride, again, everyone who is behind the camera watching this on YouTube, don't get hung up with, hey, it's a Panigale V4, it goes 200 miles an hour. I've ridden, you guys have seen, I've ridden everything and anything that's available to be ridden on the road. And if I'm telling you the previous generation Panigale V2 that is based on such an old bike with old technologies was fun, this is probably going to be a lot of fun. And if you ever come here, and if you want to get a bike, I would love it that if you just mention this video, that you showed up here because of it. Even if you're not buying a bike, if you're thinking of buying a motorcycle and getting into a motorcycle, come and take a look at them. These are the Ferraris of Two Wheels, and come to Two Wheels World and take a look at these bikes. It's a shameless plug, but I really think so. You could come and window shop. You don't want to get a bike, get a t-shirt, you know? I mean, look, I wear riding shirts all the time, even if I'm not riding a motorcycle. So, but lucky me today, I'm riding this bike. Let's go ahead and get this on the road so that I could give you guys my true first impressions of how this feels on the road, because I'm excited. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's a baby superbike, as we call these things, I'm excited to ride them, so let's go. All right, guys, we are on our way on the 2025 Panigale V2 on the street. As I mentioned on the video, I've seen so many track reviews of this motorcycle, and I'm just wondering of what it's like on the road. First impressions, it sounds a lot better than I expected it to sound. I expected it to sound like a sewing machine. Maybe because my expectations were so low. It sounds much better than, especially with the stock exhaust. That's the positive. The negative, the one thing that I really got caught off guard is that the foot pegs are so slippery. Wow. Maybe I was just riding our Motomillion Tuono V4 1100 factory. That's a long name, I know. With the aftermarket Lightech rear sets, and that's why maybe I've forgotten how slippery stock foot pegs are. But the Panigale V4 definitely is not like this either, and we still have stock rear sets on it. The mirrors, I like to complain about stock mirrors, as you guys know. Take a look at this. I only see my arm. I put my arm in, I could see clearly now, and but I can't move my arm, so I have to do this. I dislike stock mirrors on most of these sport bikes. They shake a little bit. They shake quite a bit actually, so that's also another issue with them, is when they shake you can't really see out of these mirrors. The brakes feel okay. I mean, we got to probably bed the brakes in, so let's not judge the brakes off the bat, but let's try to see if we can adjust this. Not ideal here. And it's a new bike, so it's going to be hard to find neutral, which is totally normal. There we go. Handlebars are too comfortable. I mean, they're high up, and that's a positive, but I'm just trying to justify when we're going to make this thing a little more uncomfortable, because we're definitely going to run the sport clip-ons on this bike, where the handlebars actually become like a sport bike, where they just clip on here. They'll go a little lower, so it gives you that aggressive stance. The Quickshifter actually is a new Quickshifter that Ducati's developed. It's pretty good so far. I put a total of a mile on this bike. This cancel button is weird for the turn signals, but I like it. You hear the intake sound too. You hear the exhaust, but with these bikes, I love the fact that you can hear the intake noise. Throttle is very smooth. A little bit of still slop in the throttle, so I guess we gotta either do a no slop throttle or a throttle spacer on it. Feels light. Feels pretty light. And it is light. I don't know the exact figure, but now we just jumped on the highway, of course. I don't like the cancel button on the turn signals, because when you are giving your signal, it's such a clunk, but when you cancel it, it has no feel to it. I wish it had a little more of a click, because I gotta double check to see if I just press the right button. I'm sure I'll get used to it. The seat feels like a Panigale V4, very reminiscent of it. I feel like I'm also sitting up high, but maybe that's just a illusion, because the bike under me is so small. There's a lot of empty room down here that you usually don't see on a Panigale V4, maybe because there's more pieces for aero down there. Hey guys, here, this is I guess this is my take on, it has more than enough power. So let's address the elephant in the room, which is the power, right? Does it have enough power was the question. because this bike has now less power than the previous generation bike, but it also weighs less. And just fifth gear, it's got, I guess it's got torque. That's what I mean in terms of power. I don't know the official torque figures, if it has less torque or how much less torque. The shifter is still a little clunky, but don't forget the bike is brand new. We just rode it off the showroom floor. The mirrors are useless. Take a look at this mirror. I hope you could see the reflection in the mirror. I cannot see anything out of the mirror. It shakes so much. And for all you guys to complain saying that we change our mirrors and it's only to sell parts, no, it's because of this. See, I cannot see out of that mirror, and I don't think you can either. It's got plenty of modes. I guess we just left it at race mode when Ian from Two Wheels World was actually giving me a demo on how to use this new button control that it has. I think it's pretty intuitive, and it shows it here. I should probably do a video for you guys on how to use it. So now for the menu, you got to press the round button, and then where you see the arrows, I don't think you can see it or not. I don't know if you can see it or not. So the buttons are new, right? And Ian from Two Wheels World did a good run through with me to show me how it works. So there's no, oh, it has cruise control. Wow. I pressed the wrong button. It said cruise control not available in the current configuration. I guess it doesn't allow you to have cruise control on the race mode. The bike feels very light, actually. When you do this, you can really feel how light it is. Not a lot of handlebar vibration from the road, which is good. There's tiny a little bit, but we could solve that with some softer grips. But these mirrors are unacceptable. That's my biggest criticism so far, are these mirrors. But power wise, I don't feel like for doing this kind of thing, I don't feel like I need any more power. And this will be your daily commute. We're riding on I-95, easily keeping up with traffic, and if the traffic speeds up or slows down, the brakes are doing their job, and there's more than enough power to speed up or slow down. Yeah, I know the brakes definitely need to be bed in. One thing I miss is the master cylinder feels a little too soft. Not soft in terms of the pull, but you got to put a lot of pressure for the braking to happen. But again, I think that could be because the brakes are not bed in. Let's speed up and slow down a little bit to bed the brakes in. It's got automatic headlights. I'm sure all new bikes now have it. I mean, it's cool, you know, for the amount of money this thing costs. What else do you expect from a Ducati? You know, this is amazing. The upper triple, I mean, yes, it does give you some hints that you're on the lower price point of their sport bikes or super sport bikes. And yes, the triple, but all those things you could fix with not so much money. The switch gear to me feels a little on the cheaper side, but other than that, those are probably my biggest criticism of this so far, right? Because it's mile 6 now that I've been on this bike. It's pretty enjoyable. If this was my only bike and I got to commute with it because the handlebars are raised, I would be very happy. And judging by all these crazy track videos and reviews that's been released by the correct people that would do it, it's not up to me to give you guys a track review, but road review I can. It's definitely, you know, we know that it's capable on the track. So this is the V2S model with the Öhlins suspension, and I just went over a bump over there. So there is you could tell that the suspension is obviously, it's manually adjustable, and I don't know exactly where it's set and how it's set in PDI, but it is on the stiffer end of things right now when I ride it. On a road setting, especially something like this, I could appreciate a little softer sprung or less dampened suspension, but we'll fiddle around with the settings so that we can make it softer if you want to. And don't forget, it also has an Öhlins rear suspension, and I think that's why we also went with the S model, because I just want the bike to have the Öhlins from the get-go. There will be aftermarket Öhlins for it available, but by the time it's available, I think it may be a little while given the current state of affairs with everything going on around the world. And you just get onto the throttle, just cruising speeds, and you don't have to downshift. So that's the way that I would gauge to see if the bike has adequate power or not. But again, I don't like to judge a bike right away, right? This is the honeymoon phase, where it's only been 8 miles since I picked up the bike. So there are a lot of things that are new. There's a lot of things that are jumping out at me. I'm trying to also interpret what I'm feeling with the bike and tell you guys what's happening. Maybe on another ride video I could give you guys more thought, or maybe after I let stuff sink in a little bit. But so far, first impression wise, I really like it. The biggest question was, is it going to feel anemic? Is it going to feel underpowered? And the answer is definitely no. Does it feel like a Ducati? Of course it does. It's red. That dash is nice. It's a little too stiffly sprung, as that bump earlier reminded me. And that display is very high quality. When we're running through the settings of it with Ian, it was one of the things that stood out to me, that hey, it's a very, very high quality screen, which the old V2 didn't have. Again, for me, it doesn't matter if it had the old screen or the new screen. Not really. For me, the biggest question was, how is this lower powered engine going to feel, and is it going to be exciting enough? And I think, given that it's a V2, right, it's the baby superbike, it's definitely acceptable. I wouldn't accept anything less in terms of power, but again, since it doesn't have any more power, I'm not really upset or let down by the power. It does look slimmer though when you're on the bike. The tank reminds you that it's kind of a super bike, right? It looks like a V4 tank but shrunk, but also it feels a lot shorter than the V4. The V4 tank feels like it's much longer because they probably have to carry more fuel load. But on this, the fuel tank is slimmer and shorter. I keep having to look down because the previous V2 definitely didn't feel like that. The tank feels skinnier, but the tank wasn't as short as this. But I'm a happy guy right now, riding a brand new bike. These bikes have just gotten released in the US, and I think this is one of the first deliveries. Not that it really matters, but one of the first customer deliveries of the V2S model. And it's 82 degrees, beautiful, beautiful skies in Miami, Florida here, and don't have much to complain about. Even the traffic is fine because I'm fairly comfortable. The foot pegs feel, again, it feels like a smaller bike. So I'm 6 foot tall. I think I am at the height limit of the ergonomics. I wonder what we'll do with the rear sets to see if we could play around with it a little bit so that I feel a little more comfortable. My right knee is a little too bent, to be honest, so the foot pegs feel a little high, but I definitely would like to bed these brakes in better, but not in this traffic like this. Pretty refined actually, other than the stiff suspension. Now that I'm playing around with the upshifts and the downshifts and kind of giving it throttle, different applications of throttle, right, at different RPMs, because I'm just trying to see. Let's go to 6th gear, 3000 RPM. I mean, it doesn't shake or buck that crazy like you're lugging it. I would like to see how it is actually in stop and go traffic, to see if the lurching happens. but I guess we'll get there when we get there. So this is how you want to bed your brakes in. You want to speed up, and a good application of the brakes. I mean, you're supposed to get a little slower than that, but we're obviously in traffic and we're trying to be safe. I have a pretty good distance with the car behind me, so I'm just trying to get on the throttle a little, get off the throttle a little. It's pretty vocal, guys. Just doing a little pull like that without even going crazy, because as you see, the bike's in braking period. And you know what I think about braking. We're not going to get into that topic or subject right now, but as soon as you get up to 6,000-7,000 RPM, it really glows red on the dash. The Quickshifter is wonderful. I didn't think I would say that about a Ducati product, because the Quickshifters were a little lacking, but this is great, especially for their entry-level sports bike, I would call it, right? Don't forget also, when you get your bike brand new, make sure you're a little careful with your tires, because as we all know, new tires can be a little slick, so you don't want to go and jump and go into your canyons and start carving the corners. And of course, we're in beautiful sunny Florida. There are no canyons or corners to carve here. Nice and straight roads. Beautiful pavement, I must add. Comfortable cruising roads. And we're currently delivering our own Ducati Panigale V2 2025 model back to the Motomillion studios for us to start geeking around this thing, fiddling around with it, letting you guys know what fits, what doesn't fit, taking a look to see how these bearings come apart, do all that fun stuff, and then hopefully we end up with one of the most beautiful Panigale V2s in existence. It's going to be a hard task, because our 2024 Ducati Panigale V2 that we had just finished a couple months back ended up being so beautiful. So the bar is pretty high for this one, but I'm sure we'll get to it. At least we're going to aim really high to make sure we end up with a beautiful, beautiful Ducati at the end of it as well. But I guess those are my first quick thoughts about this bike, guys, and I'll do a more in-depth review on a day where I could put in more miles and not have this afternoon rush hour traffic to deal with. So again, thank you guys for watching. I really want to say thanks again to all the crew at Two Wheels World, and thanks to Omar and also Ian from Two Wheels World. It's always a pleasure dealing with them, and I hope to add many more bikes to the Motomillion fleet in the many more years to come. But if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.